Are current contracts for Black artists equitable compared to those for other creators?
Well,
I'm dying to hear her answer.
I would say that you cannot be afraid to ask for more because, in my opinion, it's going to come in on the low end. And you just have to, you get what you negotiate. You just can't be afraid to ask for more. My opinion is if I'm advocating for someone who's white, the deal is going to come in a little different than a Black artist. Yes, I'll go on record saying that.
From a label perspective, to the extent there's variation in deals, I think it's following, in today's marketplace, it's following what's perceived to be heat. And so you can be, irrespective of genre, and I'll tell you, in the last, I'd say, year and a half, 2 years, the hottest genre in terms of driving deals has been what we have come to know as regional Mexican music, right? Where, and these are, a lot of times, these are artists who have music in the marketplace that are streaming and again, we're very data driven as an industry right now, right? There's a lot of data available. So as people are seeing a certain artist performing a certain, their records performing a certain way, sometimes it's even one record performing a certain way. Everyone has the same data. And so you have a number of record companies that are vying for the same artist, which is then driving the price of the deal even higher. And there was a time when in hip hop it was, probably going back 5 years ago, hip hop was definitely in that moment. Now of late it's been regional Mexican music, and sometimes it's even pop music. But there's so much data that's driving deals, and it's easier today than it was certainly 10 years or even 20 years ago for artists to put their music into the marketplace and then seek a deal, as opposed to, the old music business was, I can't even get a record released unless I have a deal. So I view it a little bit differently.
I think we're probably asking the wrong question because the music industry has gone through this evolution. And I wrote an article last year called Goodbye Copyright: The Rise of Trademark and Rights to Publicity Rights in the Hip Hop Music Arena. And what that article was indicating was the music business, of course, has become a streaming business primarily. Only a handful of artists at the very top can even get monetized on the streaming model. And I think many artists, and also, of course, labels, uh, or many artists say labels don't support artists like they did in terms of having longevity in their career. So if you add up all these factors, artists today understand that they're not going to make much money on the traditional record deal, which is based on the streaming model. Where they are going to make money is if they can get enough notoriety, fame, in order to have a cologne line, a clothing line, something else. And so to me, that changes the game with so much of the focus on the inequities of the record deal. And of course, as Jeff indicated, the old music model was certainly based on inequitable contracts. If you don't believe me, look at my work around Ruth Brown, one of the early R&B artists. That now we have to look at other ways that artists can actually get paid and make a living. Historically, that's going to be performance royalties. I mean, performing on stage and making money, and also whatever marketing branding they can do. So the brand now has become everything. And we know this has always been true for a long time. Hip hop got this early on, right? That it was about the hustle. It was about selling stuff. It was about the entrepreneurial spirit. I don't know if it was mythological or not. What's the guy's name? Too Legit to Quit. MC Hammer selling records out of the back of his trunk. And I think smart artists today, both in music and film, they recognize that they might get a better deal if they do everything themselves, and they'll have a much greater chance of monetization. So I respect the question, but I think maybe it's the wrong question to be asking in this era of streaming, right? Where it's very difficult to reach the level of streams. I was at a conference, it was USC, and it was hilarious to see all the heads of um, Apple TV and Paramount, and they were all sitting there. There was the one theme, and the music people, we're hemorrhaging money. We're hemorrhaging money. It's like, really? It seems like there's awful lot of money on that table to say it. So even they're complaining, right? The streamers on the film side are complaining. We can't make money in this model. What chance does the artist have unless your name is Rihanna, Drake, or somebody like that?